Along with redoing the transmission, we are also going to put a hydraulic clutch in this Corvette. And I have here a conversion kit to convert this Corvette into a hydraulic clutch. I have the piece here that bolts to the firewall and runs in and goes to the clutch pedal, and this is actually going to be the master cylinder. And then we have the tubing that goes from the master cylinder down to the hydraulic throwout bearing. And we also have a reservoir kit to put the reservoir up above this and the hosing that goes to it. We have here some shims that go behind this to get it where it's supposed to be so that we get our clearance right. In order for us to do that, what we need to do is we need to measure from the fingers on the pressure plate out to the edge of the bell housing. To do that, I'm going to use my dial caliper and this ruler, and I'm going to set this ruler along the front edge of this bell housing mount, and I'm going to run this in until it just makes contact with the spring, and then I'm going to come out and I'm going to take my reading, and I have 2.642 is the reading that I get there. Now I'm going to take that reading in several spots to make sure that we are getting an accurate reading. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my throwout bearing on this shaft right here, and I'm going to make sure I push it all the way in as far as it'll go. Then I'm going to measure from the edge of this transmission to the end of the throwout bearing, and then we're going to do the math to figure out how much of a shim we need to put behind this to get it so that the throwout bearing sets in the right spot and that it's usable. So before we can install this, we need to drill some holes in the firewall so that we can mount this through the firewall so that it connects to the firewall. Now, what I've done is I have taken the backup piece and held it right up here where the original clutch linkage came out, and then I marked the 4 holes and have drilled those holes all the way through the firewall. I'm going to go ahead and leave these 2 bolts right here in this unit, and I'm going to set this up there so it'll hold it in place while I bolt from the back side so that I can get this clutch master cylinder bolted up into that firewall. Once we install this into the firewall, this rod is actually going to be a little bit too short, so I am going to use this long nut, and then I will take a piece of all thread and I will determine the length that I need the rest of the clutch to be, and then I will install my eyelet at the end once I get the length figured out. Now that we have the master cylinder for the clutch installed and set up in there, we're going to use this backup plate to give us some extra support on this firewall. We're going to come in from the other side and run our bolts through here and tighten that master cylinder up, and then we'll start to install the plumbing for that master cylinder. So we've installed the master cylinder for the clutch, and we've also installed this 90-degree fitting so that we can hook our line that goes to our throwout bearing. And we've just routed that line right along the firewall here. And then I'm going to come through and I'm going to install this second line right here. I'm going to build me a bracket so that I can install that line right there, and that will allow me to bleed this clutch and it will be a little easier than trying to just bleed it with this running free. So this is the line that comes off of our master cylinder. We're going to go ahead and mount our reservoir up here, probably on this shock tower. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work out at this point. I've got to figure this power steering reservoir out. I've got to figure this clutch reservoir out. Anyways, once we get this installed, then we'll go ahead and bleed this clutch and should be ready to go. Thanks for spending a little time with us here in the man cave. Appreciate you watching our videos. Please hit the like or subscribe button and leave me ideas for videos, and I will try and make them happen.